Hi, this is Mike Warren, and I want to welcome you to the Judgment Lien Loophole. I'm going to share some ways that we can make, you, me, both of us, can make money from property that we never have to buy, sell, or rent. This is some very, very cool stuff. It's cutting edge. It works in this marketplace right now today. And as you can see behind me on the board, I'm going to jump right into it and show you one of the ways that I make money and one of the ways that you can make money, and you can do it very, very quickly. Now, as you see on this board here, I've got the title. It's called Judgment Lien Loophole. We're going to be talking about how you can make money from all the different types of property that are out there in America today. And it's really a 7-step process. So I'm going to break these down. You see it's got number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I'm going to explain what each one of these means, okay? So the first thing we're going to do here, and you might want to grab a pen or paper and write this down because this is some good stuff. So I'm going to get right into the meat of it. What we're talking about when we're dealing with judgment liens, first off, let me explain what a judgment lien is. A judgment is where, if you've watched Judge Judy or Judge Brown on TV and you see somebody taking somebody else to court, well, they get a judgment against that individual for a certain amount of money. Well, if we take that judgment against that individual and we walk it over to land records, which is where they record mortgages, easements, water, sewer liens, things of that nature, we record it in land records, we now place a lien on the debtor's property where the debtor cannot sell or refinance that property without paying us off. So this makes it a really good deal. We now have collateral. Well, there's a way for us to make money from these judgment liens that are out there in America. And there's millions and millions and millions of these deals that are out there waiting for you to find them. And we'll go into talking about how you can find them here in just a minute. So let me cover the 7 ways, there are 7 steps rather, that you make money dealing with some of these judgment liens. And I actually teach multiple different ways, and in a future video I'm going to cover some advanced techniques on how I can make money on these judgment liens. And I'll even talk about, if we have enough time in a future video, how you could actually flip these liens. You just do a little bit of research and how you could flip these liens and make several $1,000s simply by doing research online, and you never have to talk to anybody if you don't want to. So that's very, very cool. So watch out for a future video on that. But let's go ahead and get into this one, okay? So the very first thing we're going to talk about, step number 1, when you're dealing with the judgment liens, is that you want to find the judgments themselves. So you're going to find the judgments, and there's lots of ways. There's lots of ways that you can actually find these judgments. In fact, I teach 15 different ways to find judgments. Now, one way is simply using the internet. Now, when you use the internet, all you're doing is accessing the county courthouse. So you pick a particular state, you choose whatever the county is, you go and you access that county's website online, and you go in and you actually look up judgments, and you find these judgments. They're listed. Right? This is all public information. So under the Freedom of Information Act of 1964, you have access to all of this information for free. Now, it also works, and let me point this out, this works here in the United States. It works the same way in Canada. It works almost identically in the United Kingdom, New Zealand, and in Australia. So it works in those countries, and we have folks in those countries working on deals here in the U.S. So it works all over the place. This is not something that's just narrow to one particular state. This works everywhere, so this is really, really good stuff. So finding the judgment, simply go online, let your fingers tap dance on the keyboard, you go out and you find these judgments, so you do a little bit of research, you find the judgments, and the next step that you're going to do, the next one, is you're actually going to contact the creditor, okay? So contact the creditor. Now, the creditor is the person that got the judgment. They're the ones that sued the people. Now, they are owed the money. The court has already made the decision that, yes, they are in fact owed the money. It's a matter of law. It's a matter of record. We don't get involved in whether or not the money was owed or not, and we don't really care. All we're doing is helping the creditor. So our job, your job, my job, is to help these individuals actually get the money that they're owed. Now, the key ingredient here is that we don't have to contact the debtors and do all this stuff if we don't want to. I'm going to show you a simple way here in these 7 steps here behind me. I'm going to show you a simple way that you can make money from these deals without having to do any collection whatsoever. You're going to really like it as I get into this, okay? So step number 3, so the first, step 1, we found the judgment, we found it online. Step number 2 is we contact the creditor. Step number 3 now is we are going to go out and we are going to locate the debtor. Okay? So we're going to locate the debtor. That's step number 3. So locating the debtor is literally, it's really this simple. All I got to do is take the address that's listed on the judgment, go to the county tax assessor's record, type in their address, and it'll tell me where that particular person, whether or not they own that particular property. It's very, very simple. So I don't have to really do much effort here. This is all public record information. It's available to me. It's available to you. You have access to it under the law. Now some counties are starting to restrict their information a little bit. No big deal. All I care about is where, out of the 3,300 counties in the United States, where are some of these counties available that I can access? And guess what, guys? There's thousands of counties to choose from, and you have a lot of opportunity and millions of deals to choose from as well. So step number one, we find the judgment. Step number two is we contact the creditor. And step number three, we locate the debtor and figure out where they're at. Step number four, now this is the only time where I might actually want to invest a little bit of money in this particular technique. And some other techniques that I'll get into in some future videos. I'll show you how to do this with no money. But right now, let's look at the idea that, you know what, I may want to invest 50 bucks, 100 bucks, a couple $100. Keep it in mind, I'm typically going to make, well, I'll tone it down. I'm going to make several 100% on my money. And I'm going to do it within about 30 to 60 days, and I'll make a huge, huge rate of return. So if you think about that, if you can make several 100%, and I'm toning that number down, and you can do that within a couple of months, you don't have to leave your house, and you're simply filling out a little bit of paperwork, and you're getting paid on these deals. Guys, that certainly beats the stock market. The stock market's risky. It goes up and down like this. With the stress, a lot of people try to be day traders. Most of them lose their money. Some people invest in real estate, and you know what? I invest in the paper that's attached to property, and this is what I'm going to be showing you how to do here as well. So step number one, find the judgment. Step number two, locate or contact the creditor. Step number three, locate the debtor using the address that's already listed on the judgment. Step number four is I'm actually going to go out and I'm going to buy the judgment. I'm going to buy the judgment. Now, I want to point out, the average price that I pay and that you should pay, I would encourage you to follow what I've done and what my successful students have done, is we pay somewhere between 5 and 10 cents on the dollar. 5 and 10 cents on the dollar, that's all we're paying. So if you figure you find, let's say, a $1,000 judgment and you pay 5 cents on the dollar for it, you're going to pay 50 bucks for that. Well, you're typically going to get somewhere around $500 or $600 paid off on that judgment easily within 30 to 60 days. You got 50 invested, you make 500 or 600. 50 to make 500 or 600, is that a good deal? And I'll bet you're saying, yeah, that's a very, very good deal. And those are simple bread and butter, easy money deals that you can find all day long. So step number one, find the judgment. Step number two, contact the creditor. Step number three, locate the debtor. Step number four, you buy the judgment. Step number five, this is where it actually gets really cool. You're going to offer something that's called debt settlement to the creditor or to the debtor. So I'm going to contact the debtor. Now I'll do this by mail. I'm going to send him a little letter, and I've got a little standard little letter that I sent him. It says, "Hey, Mr. Debtor, would you have this judgment against you? We can collect it. The law allows us to force to pay off this judgment. Now the debtor cannot stop us from collecting on the judgment. But what I'm doing is I'm essentially giving the debtor the opportunity to settle this debt at a big discount. So let's go back and go back to that $1,000 example. If the debtor owes $1,000, and I go to the debtor and say, "Hey, Mr. Debtor, would you like to settle this debt? I'll give you a big discount, right? Rather than paying the $1,000 you owe plus interest and everything else, I'm going to allow you to settle it today for $500. Now they can use credit cards, they can do all sorts of things to pay off these debts, even if they don't have all the cash. There are lots of ways to make this happen. But just go with the idea that we are going to give the debtor the opportunity to settle that debt at a discount. So if they settle it at 50 cents on the dollar, which is a good discount to the debtor, that means they're going to pay $500. Well, if I only paid, let's say, 10 cents on the dollar for it, or 5 cents on the dollar, I'm going to pay $50 to $100 for it. Let's round up so the math is nice and easy. Let's say I paid 10 cents on the dollar for that $1,000 judgment. I'm going to pay $100 for it. That's it. $100, debtor pays it off at $500. So I get my initial $100 back out of the $500 payoff, plus I have a $400 profit. That's a 400% return on my investment. Guys, and you do this in 30 to 60 days. This is tremendous. Now, imagine that you're working and negotiating on these deals that are large deals. In fact, you can structure these deals that you don't have to pay for the judgment until it's already paid off. There are ways of doing that too, which means there's no cash out of your pocket at all, which is even better. And let's keep going with it though. So, find the judgment, contact the creditor, locate the debtor, buy the judgment, offer the debtor a debt settlement. Step number 6 is you're going to collect your money. Okay, this is the best part. So you're going to actually get your cash on these deals. That's the best part. And then step number 7 is something that you're required to do. The law says you have to do this. Is you have to file what's called a notice of satisfaction. So file a notice of satisfaction. Satisfaction. Here we go. I feel like I'm in a song. So you're going to file a notice of satisfaction. Now the notice of satisfaction, all that does is tell the whole world that the judgment's been paid off. That's it. So a little letter that says, hey, the debtor paid off this debt, or please mark this debt as paid or satisfied. Please close this account, has been paid. Something along those lines, any of those variations, they all work. You just have to file something with the courthouse, which is you just write a letter, you send it to the court, you're done. That's it. And then, of course, you keep repeating this process. So you find the judgment, contact the creditor, you locate the debtor based off of what's already on the judgment, you buy the judgment, you offer the debtor a debt settlement, a huge discount, you collect your money, and then you file your notice of satisfaction. This is what we call the judgment lien loophole. This is how we can make money. You and me, we can make money on all these different deals that are out there. Now, I mentioned in the very beginning that I like to focus on judgments where the debtors own property. Well, you know what? This also works on judgments where the debtors don't own any property whatsoever, but yet the judgment is showing up on their credit report. They would like to have it paid off, and guess what? They don't want to pay it off at full value, but boy, they take that opportunity to pay it off at a discount, let's say a 50, 60, or even a 70% discount. Keep in mind, you're buying it at 10 cents on the dollar, which means you're still making a 200 to 300% return on your money, and you're doing it within 30 to 60 days. Is that pretty cool or what? I know you're probably shaking your head going, yeah, that is pretty cool, and it's very, very simple. So I just wanted to review it one more time on the judgment lien loophole, guys. This is one of the best ways in America, actually in really the world, that I know of that's safe, predictable, and easy to do for you, for anybody. It doesn't matter what your previous experience is. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter if you have previous experience in real estate or internet marketing. Nobody cares. It doesn't matter. These techniques work, and I'm going to show you some techniques that are even better than this in some future videos. So I want you to stay tuned. I hope you got a lot out of this. I want you to make sure you stay tuned. Watch your email for our next video that's coming up. You're absolutely going to love it. So until then, this is Mike Warren, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.